Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we take a look at the 1999 Mugen S2000. This is a car that was cut just before the release, but it is fully functional and was added with GT2 Plus. Admittedly, you probably don't really recognise this one was cut because you might think there's already a tuned S2000 in this game. Yes, there is. It's the spoon model. For whatever reason, the Mugen one, I guess Polyphony decided there's too many S2000s in this game. Not sure. I mean, there's only 4 if you count this one, so I don't know how they came to that conclusion when they've got 41 Skylines, but nevertheless, here we are. Front engine and rear-wheel drive, 370 horsepower, 1,103 kilos, and a Honda amount of torque. This car is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader after the last episode is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 6 rally car, a 27.718. This is obviously not going to beat that. It's our first S2000 to celebrate episode 200. As I mentioned in the last episode, obviously 199, I wanted something from the year 1999 for that, and I thought for this episode, I always like to stick in a sort of cup car or something like that every sort of milestone episode, or something really, really fast, either or. So this time around I've decided on this S2000, which isn't very quick, but it is an interesting car for certain. I quite like the S2000. I mean, obviously I'm a big Honda fanboy, of course I like the S2000, but I just think this is probably the best open top car ever made and probably ever will be. I'm trying to think of anything else I like more than the S2000, really. It's just got one of the great engines of all time. I can't remember the engine code, but it revs ridiculously high, as you can see in this one. The cut-off for the red line is about 9,750 RPM. I know with tuning these things can be absolutely monstrous. Of course, Hondas in the 90s were known for their excessively high red lines, and the S2000 really does encapsulate all that. On top of that, it's a really, really good looking car. Obviously, one that's got a lot of heritage, really. I mean, it's just an absolute classic in my mind. No wonder these things go for so much money. Maybe, you know, if it's me buying, I'd probably prefer a TVR Chimera, purely because a car like this is one of those that you're sort of scared to drive, which I know sounds weird considering I say I want a TVR, but like with TVRs, there's loads of them and they're pretty static on the values. These are going up like every day. I'm feeling something like nice S2000s can be like 30 grand cars now, and so you would be a little bit worried about, well, using the car as it's intended. And the whole point of the S2000 is to use and abuse it. But yes, if it was up to me, I would very much like an Imola Orange S2000 in my life. If anyone wants to make that happen, then go for it. Anyways, I should also mention S2000s in this game. There's quite a few interesting ones, let's put it that way. There's the GT1 Turbo, which we've got to use, which is an insane vehicle. Really messed up that last lap, so we won't be going any quicker, but still, that's not too bad. But yeah, the GT1 Turbo is absolutely mental, and that should be a lot of fun to drive when that comes around. But for now, yeah, our first S2000, and I've preached on about how much I love this car, so. And it's actually done quite well, to be fair to it. 30.762 isn't bad. It's pretty sort of mid-range for our table, maybe a little bit up on mid-range considering this is car 200, but yeah. On the whole, I enjoy driving that. I don't think it would go much quicker, I'll be honest. I think the thing that hurts the S2000 a lot, and what I'm expecting to hurt all the ones that go around here, barring the GT1 Turbo, is the power delivery is all obviously right at the top of the red line. So depending on how the gearing goes, obviously a lot of this course is low speed, and it's all about getting the acceleration out the corners. And when you've got a car with a red line this high, that you've got to work very hard to get to that red line, it does cause problems. Anyways, a 30.762 places this into 80th place. It goes in between an Acura Integra and the Honda Civic EG, which is basically what you'd expect. It is a smidgen quicker than the Honda NSX, slightly slower than the MR2 GTS, but that had about 500 horsepower. Yeah, slightly slower than Spoon Civic, Master Speed Roadster. It's right around where you'd expect this to go, really, all things considered. So, yeah, good car. I liked it, and hopefully a good taste of things to come from the S2000. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.